Kevin,
Yo.
how are you? Welcome to Menace and the Man.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Sorry we're a little tardy. Me and Menace don't know much about technology, so we were trying to get things working.
No worries, man.
Yeah, couple of well, Stan's not a musclehead, but or like a jock, but
Bro, I used to be a jock. I used to be Jack. Don't listen to him, Kevin.
okay.
So what did we catch you in the middle of?
Nothing. Just watching fights, getting ready to just warming up, stretching out, getting ready to go train.
Are you back to training? Last night I talked to Caleb, and he said you had a broken hand.
Yeah, but I don't ever stop training, and I got the cast off last week,
Yeah, Stan, what do you?
so I'm back in the mix.
Stan, what do you?
Fully.
What are you, pussy?
No, well, I wasn't sure if he's throwing punches,
Oh,
punches
Kevin,
already with
Kevin
a broken
Ross
hand.
doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
0 fucks given.
yeah.
So, Kevin, tell me a little bit about yourself. You're originally from Reading, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You
I was
wouldn't happen
born
to
in.
know. You wouldn't happen to know Charles Griffin, would you?
No, I had lived there for just a few years, and then I don't even really remember much of it.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. You moved to Vegas then.
Yeah, actually, I was on the East Coast for a while. I was in New York and Georgia, and then I moved to Vegas in '94 or '95.
Word. Where in New York were you?
Upstate in Rochester.
Okay. My homie Greg Gillespie's from up that way.
Uh,
Do you follow much MMA, Kevin?
I wouldn't say I follow it. I mean, I definitely watch it and pay attention when there's good fights on, but not enough to keep track of or give you a list of fighters and things like that. But yeah, I watch it. I watch all fighting anytime it's on. But yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't even really keep track of too much.
I would
Even
imagine.
Thai boxing.
I would imagine you're similar to me. Like if you're home and it just so happens it's on and nothing, you're like, yeah, I'll watch this shit, But you're not like,
Yeah.
hey guys, can't hang out, gotta get home, gotta watch the fights.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely if it's on. I'm down to watch it. And it's better than watching anything else.
Well, I was going to segue into there. If you don't know who Gregor Gillespie is, he's an undefeated UFC lightweight. He's actually one of the more like under herald badass dudes in the UFC. What is Gregor, like 11-0, 12-0 right now?
Yeah, something like that. Unherald, huh? You're just going with the big words.
Yeah, I feel like people aren't. He's under the radar still, Gregor.
Yeah.
I feel like he hasn't fully caught on. He hasn't gotten that big name opponent
Kevin,
yet.
would you say that's like $100 word he just used just now?
Sorry, say that again.
He just used like $100 word just now, right?
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Unherald. Wow, I haven't heard that, I think, ever. Maybe one time in a movie.
People say it all the time in fighting. So how'd you wind up breaking the hand?
I was supposed to fight in Japan 2 weeks ago on the Rising card, and 3 weeks out, so it was 5 weeks ago. I was sparring, and I don't really know because I didn't stop training and kept going for another 7-8 rounds. But I think I caught it on an elbow throwing body shots and just split the thumb joint in half.
Like a boxer's fracture?
No, I've actually done that 3 times on that same hand, but it actually my thumb, the like the knuckle of the thumb, the lowest one, split in half and dislocated my thumb.
Yikes! And you were just like, "No, I'm good. Just keep,
I really thought I just jammed it. It was just, I've done that a million times on my
Right.
left hand, which is just completely disfigured from all those, and that's what it felt like. It just nothing major. Like, God, my hand hurts.
Right.
So
You'll just tape it
keep
up later.
going.
Yeah. Fuck this guy.
Yeah. The ironic thing is, Caleb, he's been working with me, and we're talking about, overcoming things, like kind of getting that mind frame, like, things might not be going so well in the fight. You kind of want to get there ahead of time.
Right.
And I was like, I think I took it a little too seriously. Broke my hand.
And you're like, no, Gabe, we talked about this. I can just work through this. I'm good.
Yeah, the funny thing was, like, even when it happened, I was like, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should stop sparring because my hand kind of really bothers me. I'm like, no, if this happens in a fight, you got to keep going anyway. So I just kept going, and found out it was broke like 2 days later.
Caleb's following after you. So once we're done shooting the shit with you, we're getting into Caleb. So I'm gonna
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get out all your demons. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, good luck.
No, but what got you into fighting?
Seeing it, I'd always loved boxing and martial arts growing up.
Because of your
And
father? Do you have any older brothers or?
no, no, not at all. I'm the oldest of many siblings, and my father, he did a lot of wrestling in high school, but they weren't pushing me towards anything combative or anything.
Right.
I don't know. It's just something that just always intrigued me, and the ironic thing is I hated violence coming up. It just really bothered
Same.
me when I'd see people upset and hurt, and I'm like, I never wanted other people to be hurt,
Yeah.
and I was never angry. Like, I was an angry kid, but I wasn't angry at anybody else. You
Same.
know what I'm saying? So I never, took it outward. Some of my friends, they would fight all the time, like weekly basis, and it always intrigued me and fascinated me, but I never wanted to do it. I was just like kind of fascinated by it. I think because I'm more intrigued by the competition aspect of
Right.
fighting, not like I don't take it in any emotional way at all. And you can hit me as much as you want. It's part of the game. It's what I'm doing. It's an art to me, not a anger issue.
For sure. Now, growing up, I mean, this is the way I felt growing up. Is like no other human being can beat me at my weight class. So when I found out in wrestling there's weight classes, I'm like, what? I will beat every kid my age, my weight in the world. And it just right? Did you have that kind of mindset growing up, or
No,
no?
no. I was always extremely competitive, and I hated team sports. Though I always hated. I love to play. I love to compete. I just hated having to rely on other people. And I was always the person out there who was just pushing it harder than anybody else. Regardless of size or speed or anything else. I
Right.
was always pushing myself like that, and yeah, it was very strange because if I would have if you would have asked if I was going to be a fighter like a week prior to me ever starting, you would have laughed me out of the room, because it was just so far away from any kind of way that I was,
Yeah.
and but like I said, I was always extremely athletic and competitive in that nature. I just hated the team sport aspect
What
of
sports did you play growing up?
all of them. Football, baseball, basketball, soccer, hockey. I even played tennis for a little bit.
Yo, I fucks with a little tennis.
Yeah.
In high school, like my senior year, like I don't know, like all the seniors would go down like on a Friday night and just play tennis and like spark up some 2v2s. And then once you learn how to get a top spin on a ball, tennis becomes very fucking fun. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed ping pong much more. My father actually was a really great ping pong player, and he played tennis as well. So that's the one thing he kind of got was like, why don't you try this out? And I never really liked it. I was like, this shit's stupid.
Yeah. Because I can hustle like a
But
motherfucker and turn on a dime. So tennis is up my
yeah,
alley.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like tennis is one of those sports. Well, maybe not a sport. Like for example, like beer pong, bowling, darts. When things start going bad for me, it just fucking snowballs and gets fucking worse. So if I'm down in the cards in
Uh-huh.
tennis, I start trying to make up for it and like come back with some big plays, and it just doesn't go well. And I'm
Yeah.
angry. It
Yeah.
just gets fucking worse. Same for you, or you keep it together?
I'm pretty good at keeping my emotions out of the thing. Like for me, it's more about just like intensity. Like I'll crank up the intensity, but it's never an emotional response to me.
Do you know what I'm talking about though? Like in beer pong or something like a game where you have to like, when you start getting angry, things just start. Stan, can you relate to this at all?
Almost similar to fighting, like when you
Hang on. That's what I love about fighting. When things don't go your way, you get angry. You can just fuck that guy up,
yeah.
and it works out better.
But I was saying almost similar to fighting, like when you're trying to knock someone out, it's harder than if you're just flowing and like go,
Correct.
Yeah, you're almost
Yeah,
like
I mean, it worked for there's certain fighters that, of course, they fight really well with anger and with emotion, but for me, it's actually extremely counterproductive. The only times I've ever been angry at an opponent, I had really shitty fights, and then it wasn't a positive thing for me because it gets in the way of my focus and what it is that I'm doing. I lose sight of just flowing in the moment and
For sure.
paying attention to what I'm doing. So for me, it's a distraction and a deterrent. But a lot of people, it really does work for them. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah. So we're having on Jeremy Stevens a little later. I feel like he's one of those guys when he starts losing, like you could see it on his sleeve, his emotions, and he's like, "No, I'm actually going to try to murder you."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. He definitely fights with emotion. You know, and then again, like some people might see the way I fight. Now, of course, I like crank it up when I am getting hurt and injured and bleeding all over the place. But again, it's not an emotional response. It's just like, all right, now I gotta pick it up and run through you and prove to you that it doesn't matter how hurt I am. I'm gonna keep going.
For sure. Like I said before, I like fighting for me. When you're getting fucked up, you can get pissed off and let it out. But that's actually not the way I fight. When I'm actually getting fucked up, it's like, yo, focus or die.
Yeah.
So like the more I'm losing, the more focused I become.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Kevin, if you've ever seen Dennis fight, he usually gets dropped and then comes back to win. So if he gets dropped in the first round, it's like, oh, he's probably going to win this fight. So like once he gets hit, he turns it on.
Unfortunately,
I tend to do the same thing. Almost every fight I've ever been dropped, I came back and either knocked the guy out or won. And same thing with like the serious damage and cuts I've had. I don't know, like that's the thing that almost like frees my mind from thinking too much and just like over now, and then everything just comes more naturally in the way that it should to begin with. I'm like, why don't you just like crack me in the head while I'm walking to the ring, and this will work out better.
Oh, 100%. I always say, whenever I used to compete, I always said to someone after the fact, if you would have just smacked me before the fight, I would have focused so much more and like thought about the actual competition.
Yeah.
So now I heard you say you were watching fights. What were you watching?
Some old K1 fights. I was watching Masato and Kaishenko, and then I saw Kaishenko and Sauer.
So now is that like a normal occurrence for you before training? You usually check out some video and then you get in the gym and try to work some technique, or you just that's what you do?
That's really just a nonstop thing for me. I always have fights on, either that I'm watching or in the background, and yeah, definitely prior to training. Sometimes from the aspect of stylistically watching some things that I'm trying to sharpen up or implement into my game. Sometimes watching stylistic things that my opponent might do, or just fights that I enjoy or that get me going. There's various reasons I watch them.
Apples and oranges. I used to watch Barry Sanders highlights before football games, and I'd be like, "Yo, I gotta be Barry out there." It went all right. I didn't score a lot of touchdowns, but I juked out a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, so like you said, you're always watching fights. When I was wrestling in college, man, I was constantly watching old school wrestling matches, the Brands brothers and stuff like that, Terry Brands, and I became super obsessive with wrestling, where I feel like I wanted to win so bad it actually hurt me.
Yeah. I mean, there's always that balance between going too far and being too much about the end result, and you lose sight of what it is that you're doing in the moment.
Right. Like I would be in class fucking, Dennis Bermudez, national champion. Dennis Bermudez, beats so-and-so by this score, just constantly doodling it. It was all I thought about, unless I was like drinking alcohol, really. or like hanging out with girls. Like wrestling was it, and when I got into MMA, I like kind of told myself like, hey man, maybe don't think about fighting as much as you thought about wrestling, Also, fighting for me was like, it's like my second love. Like wrestling was like my first, like my, that was my girl. That was the one that got away,
Right.
And then like fighting's the one that just like, it's here now. It's treats me good. I'll stay.
Right.
But what about you, man? You have any girlfriends, kids, wives?
Oh yeah, that's like a question.
That's a complex question.
Ooh,
I feel like that's the question everyone asks Kevin Ross
that
probably.
Question. Because I mean, you're a stud, 5'10", you tatted up a little bit, right? What's the move? You on Tinder? What's?
No. That's the
right.
that's just a long. It'd take me a good hour or two to explain to you the history of my life as far as that goes.
Well, here's what it is too, Kevin. Dennis is kind of a casual fight fan, where I'm more of like in deep. So I know you did or you are dating Gina Carano, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's probably a question he gets asked every interview.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not
yeah.
not the way Dennis asked it, but what's going on with
Yeah, that was very unique of you to go about it that way. But yeah, that's not something I like to kind of get into. We
Oh,
try to
right on.
we do our best to keep. We're
Got you.
obviously very public people, but try to keep that aspect of it on the
Okay, cool.
the
No,
lower end.
I respect that.
and
Yeah.
kudos to this guy. He pulled one of the all-time MMA chicks. You know what I mean? Like one of the
yeah. It's like her and Misha Tate, right? Would you say?
yeah. Oh yeah.
And then who's the other one?
I don't know.
Who's the alpha male chick?
Oh, Paige.
Yeah, Paige would probably be in that.
Well, Paige, Captain Gano, but like Captain, what's her name was the original Gina Carano.
Yeah, I
she
would
was
agree.
like the first MMA female star.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, for sure. Is she still banging out movies and shit?
Yeah, she is.
No. We gotta get her on sometime. We'll shoot the shit with her.
Oh yeah, she's a movie star.
Yeah.
She might be too big for us. She's a movie star.
Hearsay. What else, dude? Did you like ride dirt bikes and shit or what?
No, I'm an artist. I write. I play the piano a little bit. I've always been an artistic inclined person, and to me, fighting is a form
Like an
of
art form
artistic
for you.
expression. Yeah. So everything I've ever done has been along the lines of artistic expression.
Do you know Chris Algieri?
I sure do. He actually commentated one of my fights, and like he was interviewing me prior to it. And I'm like, man, this dude looks super familiar. I just can't place it. And then after I went back and watched it, I'm like, oh shit, that was Chris Algieri.
Yeah, he's been on our show a couple times. But he's actually he's an artist, and so whenever he posts on his Instagram, when he'll cook, he cooks, and his plates that he makes are like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, that's the way because I don't have time to draw anymore, but I have to cook because it's part of my career, so I decorate my plates. And he cooks so his avocado is everything's like neat, and like his plates make my mouth water, make me feel like a piece of shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Chris, that's what you're doing, huh? You woke up at fucking 5:30 to
Chris Algieri is putting out some hardcore food porn.
Yeah, he's
day.
dope. And
nice, man.
He actually just put out a book, The Fighter's
Kitchen.
Oh yeah, nice. I'll have to check that out.
For sure.
So
what was your kind of art is music?
that's what I was going to ask.
No, that's really the really side thing. But I've been drawing and doing art since I was born. Basically, I actually got my degree in computer animation.
Dope,
and,
dude. That is so time consuming. It's retarded.
Yeah.
So I'm a studio art minor, and I remember I made this little graphic where like my name came across, and it took fucking forever. And it's like very what's the word? Like
Tedious.
Yeah, hey, that's exactly the word I was looking for. Thank you, Stan. So what is that your fallback plan after fighting?
My fallback plan.
Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, you can't fight forever.
I got so many kind of different facets of my life that I do with my art, with my writing, with fighting and teaching, and fighting has never been a like this is my thing I'm going to do forever. Obviously, I know that,
Right.
and I know every fight can be my last fight, though. This is just something that I'm putting all of my time and energy into because it is the one thing that is on a limited time frame. So, I still maintain on all the other things that I do and, do them much more, after fights and things like that. But this is really what takes the majority of my time and focus.
Yeah, because I was actually talking to a coworker today, and he was talking about over the years he's learned how to like just tinker with things and fix things and manufacture parts for his boat and shit like that. I'm like, damn, yeah. And then we started talking about like computers and stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm not very good there. My kids make fun of me and shit like that. And I'm like, dude, am I a complete piece of shit and just fucking put all my eggs in the basket of fighting? Because, like, I'm not amazing on a computer. I fucking can't tinker and, like, fucking MacGyver shit together. I'm like, man, I can only beat people up. I suck.
Yeah, well, that's more than a lot of people can do. So don't bash on yourself too hard.
Well, I'm hard on myself.
You're better at computers than you're giving yourself credit for. Like,
Yeah,
there's people who know a lot less than you. Like even your coworker knows a lot less than you.
Yeah.
So what about teaching? Is that something that you feel like you might do for the long haul after fighting?
Well, I mean, it's something I do currently, and it's a question of how much more motivated I'm going to be once I have more time. I say, maybe when I'm done fighting, that is what I'm going to really want to do and pursue and push to a greater extent. But at the same time, maybe I'm not going to want to do it at all or do it at a much smaller scale. So it's really just kind of going with how I feel in the moment. And, I definitely think it's something I'll always be involved in at one level or another. It's just at what extent, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know that's different for all fighters. Like sometimes they retire and they're done. They don't want to teach. They don't want to coach or anything like that. And then other guys, like one of our friends, Ryan LaFleur, he's like, I can't wait to teach. Like he loves teaching. He loves the whole aspect now that he's retired, that he's a coach and all that.
Yeah, and I really do enjoy it a lot. I love passing it on and but for me, it's so much more about the people that have that same kind of drive and passion as I do. I have a hard time teaching people that are just they're screwing around. I'm like, you can go hit the bag all day, and I don't want to waste my time with you.
Would you say that's your problem with teaching Menace?
I hate, and I don't know if you agree or not, Kevin, is like when I hate teaching someone from nothing.
Yeah.
Like from the start. It's like, and like you can tell that they're not that athletic and they won't be that good. It's just like but there's something awesome about grabbing someone you're like, damn, this guy's a fucking athlete.
Yeah.
And teaching them some shit and you're like, damn, and then picking up pretty quick. That's fun. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's no real money in that though. The money's
of course not.
Teaching Joe Schmo, who's never probably gonna fight ever, how to throw a punch and be enthusiastic and charismatic and hey, you're doing great, and like, but you're like, I don't give a fuck, It's tough.
So it's very tough. So for me, as long as there's a combination of the two, I can do it. But that's why I definitely can see myself having like my own little home gym and I'll invite some people over that are I know we're getting into it and that kind of thing, because I love helping people that are actually on the path and wanting to progress and looking to to be the best that they can be. But as far as people that don't know or just screwing around or just can't do it at all, that's where it gets a little tricky. And especially right now while I am still fighting, I'm like, I don't have time to pretend to be motivated to help you when you don't even care about this.
Can you kick a baseball bat in half?
Yeah, I'm sure I can. I never have done it, but
I love this.
I'm 100% confident that I can do that.
So I don't know if you know who Melchor Menor is.
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, he was my Muay Thai coach on The Ultimate Fighter, and he's done that multiple times. I'm like, and he says he like takes his brain and takes it to like another universe, and like I'm like, God damn.
He blocks out the pain.
Hang on. He's a complete sicko. So I was hitting mitts with him. I was getting ready to fight in Mexico City, right? He had me hitting 1, 2, 3 leg kick. So I'm like 1, 2, 3. He's got no pads on. I've got no pads on. 1, 2, 3. I leg kick him. Bang. Like light. He's like, you can kick me harder. I'm like, okay. So 1, 2, 3. Harder. Dennis, you can kick me harder. I'm like, okay. 1, 2, 3. Like, I'm hitting him 90% now. He's like, harder. I'm like, you motherfucker.
You call me a pussy?
I'm like, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I got. Wow. All right. Like, harder. I'm like, what? I kicked him 1, 2, 3, probably 10 times. And then I was like, hey, coach, we got to switch this up. My shin's starting to hurt. He's a psychopath. And he's out there. You're in Vegas or Cali now?
I'm in San Diego. I actually, yeah, I see him pretty regularly because he actually holds pads for people over at this spot I do some of my conditioning at. So I see him almost every
Have
week.
you gotten any work with him? He's amazing.
So we only worked once together, and this was 12, 13 years ago. I was getting ready to my first time, or no, it might have been my second time. Yeah, I think it was my second time going to Thailand, and I was just in town and needed to get a workout in, and he helped pass. I mean, it might have been 2 days in a row. But yeah, he actually, because he was somebody that I would kind of like looked up to coming up because he had trained under Toddy as well, and he was like the big name, one of the big names going around as I was just kind of getting started, or that had just, he was just kind of finishing up around then.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I'd always known of him and kind of looked up to him as far as fighting goes.
Not that I think you need it, but if you want me to fucking, network that bridge, I would be more than happy to. Seriously.
No, like I said, I know, I've known Mel for like
Oh, okay.
15 years.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't see him very regularly other than
Got
at
you.
the fights until recently when I moved down to San Diego. Now I see him almost every week.
Now, except for Mel, my second favorite Muay Thai guy, John Wayne Parr. Have you had any interactions with him?
Yeah, lots. Again, all this kind of ties back into Toddy. He came and trained out with him prior to me ever even starting, and that's when he met his wife Angie, and then they got linked up and everything. And another guy, as I was coming up, that I really looked up to, and we trained once. He came to the gym. This is right when I was getting started, and then we've known each other, since basically day one. So. Yeah, it's always great when we
I'm
run
gonna
into
get
each
him on
other
the
at the
show
fights.
next week.
Oh,
Yeah,
John,
yeah.
he said he'd come on.
John Wayne. Yeah.
Yeah.
We used
He's
to have
amazing. His Instagram is one of the best Instagrams out there. It's amazing.
He's good. Yeah, he's
I
great.
feel like Master Toddy would be one of those people that probably has endless amazing stories as well.
We should get him.
Yeah.
I don't have his
Well,
number.
he's
I have to
just
go through Mel.
he's a character that is set apart from any other you'll ever meet.
Yeah, and he was like one of the first Muay Thai guys that I remember even like getting recognition on the American scene. Like when I was a kid, at least, like growing up, like I always knew
Yeah,
of
for
Master
for
Toddy.
sure. He was definitely one of the first to ever bring it over here and help it grow here. And he was the one of the best Thai trainers there ever was, especially here.
Yeah. So what's your timeline for the hand healing up?
Well, I just signed a fight in 9 weeks, so I hope I hope to be ready by then.
Okay. Who you got in 9 weeks?
I don't know if I can say yet.
Oh, you could
just-
say it.
Oh my gosh.
Or,
Well, yeah.
we'll go into the
it's,
guessing game if you want.
No, it's so I re-signed with Bellator, and that's who set
Dope.
that Ryzen fight up for me. So it's for them. It's their first show this year, which is October 12th in Milan, Italy. And it's
Dope.
shit. What's this guy's name? It's the guy Varga just beat last 2 months ago.
So you're gonna beat him.
He fought for the title. Yeah, that is the
I like
plan.
that. I like that.
Yeah. And then their next show after that is their first ever card in Japan, December 29th. So I'll be on that one as well.
So this next one will be for Ryzen or Bellator?
No, it'll be for Bellator. I mean, I'm hoping to fight for them one of these days because I was really, really looking forward to that. And, obviously they have a good relationship with Bellator because they were cool with me going over there and doing it, and they were the ones to set it up. So I'm hoping we can still do something in the future because they do some amazing things over there.
Oh, for sure.
I tell you what, Kevin. I didn't know who you were before this because, like I said, I don't really watch a ton of fighting. Like next time I'm in Cali, dude, I want to fuck. I feel like you're one of those dudes when you walk in the gym, motherfuckers like, oh, that dude's he's an OG.
Yeah. He's
Just
a
by the way,
legend.
you talk like I fucks with you. You drink beer?
Sometimes. So the thing that I was an alcoholic most of my life, and that's the thing that kept
damn.
me from going after this fighting dream for so long. And when I started, it was like I gave up drinking cold turkey going into 2003, and went after this, and that's, this is what I've been doing ever since. Now, I do drink on occasion. I'm actually taking this year off of drinking because I wanted to get refocused
Yeah.
and make sure there was nothing holding me back, after everything, and so I mean to do that. This is probably the 5th time I've done it. I'll take the whole year off just to kind of reset and refocus and that kind of thing. So I'm 8 months into that.
You know what's crazy is like people can't do that. Like everyday people, like for example, I've seen women like get pregnant and they almost hate their lives because they can't drink. It's like, yeah, that's what your life's about. Like you can't drink for 8 months or 9 months and like you're gonna lose your mind. Really, that's insane to me.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and a lot of people just don't have an outlet to deal with a lot of the mental and emotional things that they feel. Fortunately for me, I do have fighting, and that takes almost 100% of it out. I unfortunately I do have that addictive personality to alcohol, so it's more along those lines as opposed to something other people deal with. But yeah, I mean that's really what it comes down to, is just you don't have an outlet for what you're feeling.
Right.
And drugs and alcohol help you with that, especially if you don't have a physical outlet or a mental outlet.
Yeah. Hang on. When things hit the fucking fan for me instantly, it obviously depends where I am, right? Like and who's around, really. You know what I mean? Like, let's say like my girlfriend breaks up with me. I'm not gonna like start hitting the bottle like at 2:00 on PM in the PM by myself. You know what I mean? If let's say my girlfriend broke up with me at like 8:30 on a Friday night, like, hey Stan, guess where we're going? We're going out. We're getting fucked up. It's getting weird, But like 2 p.m. on a fucking Wednesday, I'm going for a fucking 10-miler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going for a goddamn huge run. I'm blaring emo music. I'm fucking, I'm taking my mind elsewhere and like putting my energy there, where like your average house mom, I guess, like, I don't know. I can't run that far. I don't work out. I don't do that. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's something so positive about having a physical outlet, whether it's fighting or sports or anything
yoga,
physical for that matter. Yeah, and it's unfortunate that so few people want to go in that direction.
Fucking go in the woods.
It is a positive thing.
Go hiking.
Yeah, go to the woods.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So quick, Kevin, before we let you go, how'd you get into working with Coach Caleb?
So I believe it was Matt Brown introduced me to him, or he had done some work with him in the past, and then maybe Caleb reached out to me, and then I talked to Matt, just asked him how it went. He was very complimentary of him, and we just started. This was, I don't know how long it's been now, at least a few months. We started working together. And I'd done some work with similar kind of mind coaches in the past, which was always very beneficial to me. One of the first times I started doing it was because of all the problems I had after my 3 hand breaks, and I was really just kind of getting over that mentally more than anything. And from that point, I did a lot more moving forward. This is well over a decade ago, so it was always something I knew there was a benefit from, and just got to introduce to him. I do believe he reached out, and I know that I talked to Matt about it, who I've known forever as well.
Yeah, and you know how it is. We talked about it with a couple of his other guys that he works with. A lot of times for a fighter especially, it's like, I'm not a pussy. I don't need a mental coach, but it's just nice to have someone to talk to and someone to like bounce ideas off of and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just, it really is just another tool you can add to your arsenal. I think sometimes people might misconstrue it as like therapy or like you're weak or something when there's so many different ways you can use and apply it. I think it's beneficial to just about anybody for a variety of reasons. It's not just one way to do it or to use it, or or anything like that. You know, everything is very unique to the individual, and you know, just having somebody, yeah, like you said, just having somebody to kind of bounce off, you know, an unbiased person to bounce ideas off of is such a helpful thing, because like everybody around you is invested in some way in you, you know, whether it's actual from the sporting side of it or your family and friends, like they care about you, you know, and they're always gonna give you, you know, their opinion, but it's going to be biased in a way, you know, even if it's a positive thing, you can't get that outside opinion. So that's very beneficial for me to have, and you know, and so much of it too is just to hear myself say these things out loud that I'm thinking in my head, like, you know, like I'm just going to talk them out. And you know, so much of it is you're doing a lot of it on your own, but just having that sounding board and having that person be like, okay, this is what you said, you know, this is, you know, what I'm getting out of that is that kind of what's going on. And you know, that's obviously on a very small area of it, but it's much more deep than that. But yeah, it's I think it's extremely positive and beneficial thing that so many athletes, particularly fighters, get a lot out of.
So Kevin Ross, you've done a ton of interviews and podcasts and shit like that, right?
Yeah,
you
actually did
a
3-hour one earlier today.
You fucks with Menace the Man.
Yeah.
That was a weak yeah, but I'll take it. No, but
what's that?
No,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said you fucks, like, we're different. We're slightly different. Like,
yeah, I hope so. I hope I'm different. You guys are definitely different. I hope I'm different. And
your next opponent, how you gonna beat him? Like, you excited? Like, shut the fuck up, Alex. All right, you've never fought one day in your life. Don't fucking try and sit here and talk fighting with me. I have fought. I don't want to talk about fighting, so I try to talk about life shit and all that. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah.
So.
Oh, for sure. So, Kevin, you got that fight, and you said 9 weeks, right?
Yeah. No, the 12th of October.
So before the 12th of October, we'd love to get you back on. We want to talk about family life, what you're doing in your spare time, some other shit. Let's get into some street fight stories.
I want fucking street fights.
That's all Menace wants is street fight stories.
Yeah, I want to know about a motherfucker that crossed you, like, at a young age, and you were like, damn, wow, got him.
I got you, man. Yeah, anytime, man.
All right, fucks with it.
All right, so thank you for joining us, Kevin Ross. You're the man.
All right, my pleasure, guys. Thank you.
You're now my third favorite Muay Thai fighter.
Who's 1 and 2?
Oh,
Coach Mel and fucking John Wayne Parr, dude.
Okay.
Well, that's good company, man. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you again for joining us, Kevin Ross. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, later, guys.
Peace. Yo, he's I get how he gets like a freaking hot chick like that. He's like smooth, like